Hey there, and welcome to the Wordsmith Forge Christian Fiction Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Baines, and today we're crossing the border north to meet an author whose imagination builds worlds as rich in faith as they are in adventure. My guest is Daniel Lewczuk, a retired police officer from Southern Ontario who found a new purpose and passion in writing Christian fantasy. His stories echo themes of courage, justice, and perseverance, all grounded in a deep love for the Lord. We'll talk about how his walk with Christ shapes his storytelling, what inspired his upcoming debut novel, and why he believes it's never too late to bear fruit for God's kingdom. So settle in. This conversation reminds us that even in imagined worlds, truth still shines through. Would you join me in welcoming Daniel Lewczuk to the Wordsmith Forge Christian Fiction Podcast? Daniel, thank you for joining us this morning, and would you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Thank you, Mike, and I'm humbled from being here. Thank you for asking me on. My name's Daniel Lewczuk. I'm 60 years old. I live in Southern Ontario with my wife of 33 years, and I have 3 adult sons as well. I'm a retired police officer. I took an early retirement seeking something a little more conducive to family life, and I was also nagged by some old back injuries as well. So the last 5 years, I'd say I was writing more seriously. 3 where I was really intentional about it. I've always wanted to all my life. I don't know, before the days of the iPhones, when we got bored, we picked up a book, my cousins and I, and that's what we do. So here I am. I'm having a lot of fun. And I'm working on my first book. It's written. I've got 3 plotted, a prequel done, and I'm just in the editing process of those as well.
Oh, great. Now, you say you live in Southern Ontario. Well, welcome. You're my second international guest. So now I have a guest from South Africa, Von Ebers, and now someone from Canada. So great. Have you always lived in Southern Ontario?
Always. I was born and raised in Toronto, and now we live just outside west of there, not far from Hamilton.
Is there some place around there that you'd like to go just to relax or to just kind of refresh yourself and get ready to dive back into society?
Yeah, actually, I'm a renovator. I grew up, doing things with my dad. He was a carpenter, and then, he took care of properties as well. And, we've been renovating our home and yard. So I've tried to make it comfortable and kind of like a bit of a oasis there as well. So we've got a big vegetable garden. Kind of get in the dirt a little bit, and we're very fortunate or blessed to have the Bruce Trail nearby. So it's a huge green belt. It stretches from here to northern, Tobermory, I think, which is a lot further north of here, and it's a nice place to go. So we've got a lot of green space. And sometimes I'll walk the dog, but lots of times I'll just sit on the deck and just have a coffee and relax and just look out at the nature around me and the birds. And I love that.
Yeah, just so our audience gets to know maybe a little more personal side of you. What are 3 of your favorite songs?
Oh, gosh. You need a longer podcast because I just love music. I love music.
Great.
I think, my favorite hymn is How Great Thou Art by far. There's some good versions. I like Shane and Shane's Shane and Shane's, I could listen to them most of the day, I think, all day. Any old Third Day. We saw Mac Powell the other week. I'm surprised he made his way up here. We're thrilled. So it was our anniversary present to each other.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thanks. There's one, it's kind of like every summer, there's like a theme song that we have. And this one that really got traction and really lodged itself in my heart was With Lifted Hands by Ryan Stevenson.
Yeah.
And it's the words and just the way he sings it as well. But anything with really good lyrics. It's got some theologically rich stuff. There's one by Shane and Shane, based on Psalm 51, Wisdom in the Secret Heart. I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Some Ghost Ship, a couple of their songs I really, really like. Zach Williams.
Yeah.
I really, really, there's a couple I always love of his. And yeah, this time.
Yeah,
I heard Mac Powell live at Red Rocks doing my favorite song in high school. Don't Look Back. I think it's an old Fleetwood Mac song. Anyways, so he's saying that. It's great. You can kind of transfer the lyrics if you want,
Yeah, definitely.
More faithful.
Yeah, I'm a Fleetwood Mac fan myself. And my favorite songs change day by day. So it's whatever I find playing in my head is what I like. Do you have 3 favorite movies?
Yeah. I'm also a movie fanatic. There's an oldie. And I'm kind of borrowing this from others who've said this, but it's still a favorite of mine. It's A Wonderful Life, Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah.
It's a long movie. It's old. Love his story. There's a newer one that's totally different called A Quiet Place, which is like a suspense thriller horror. And I really like the dad's character in that. And the themes. The themes, there's a really strong theme of sacrifice, I think, in that movie as well. Others, gosh, they don't come to mind. Those are 2 that stick out. There's adventure movies, the old ones I grew up with, some Westerns.
Other law enforcement officers seem to mention Shawshank Redemption.
I kind of like that. Some of my friends like that. I always thought it was kind of overrated, but that's just me. So it didn't really grab me, but it was a good movie. It was a good movie. Not my favorite, but I'd say it was good. Yeah.
It's always interesting to hear someone from a law enforcement background remark on that movie. Of course, one of my authors did about 18 years in the pen, and he liked it real well.
I remember that was a powerful interview. There was a gentleman from Ohio, and he runs a ministry now. Yeah.
That is one of my favorite. If I had a favorite episode, it'd be right up there with the top 40. I've included all of my guests in that. So, if you don't mind, would you tell us something about your walk with Christ?
Yeah. I was raised in the Ukrainian Orthodox Church growing up. So my parents both immigrated from Europe, and with my mother especially, her faith was very important. So I grew up in that church. I was an altar boy as well, but I never really heard the gospel. I was born here, so my knowledge of the other language of Ukrainian was limited. I never really heard the gospel until I was 12 years old. So I heard the gospel from a completely different source, and I gave my life to Christ at that time. Now my walk was anything you'd expect from a follower of Christ later when I got into high school. But I remember praying and for the first time in that way at age 12, and the I don't try and rely too much on feelings, but I didn't expect what I experienced at that time.
Right.
Now, fast forward, then I renewed my faith at a later age, and it's become very, very important to me. Moses' song, I always get this mixed up. It's Psalm 90, I think, not Psalm 91. Teach us to number our days so that we may get a heart of wisdom. So in how I walk, how I spend my time, everything, my thought processes, right now, I just want to give that up to the Lord, to Christ. I want to be closer to him. That's a process. That's just summing it up, but I guess you could say that's a process that's been going on for the last several years as God's been knocking away the rough edges and things like that. So he's just gotten larger, and he's very important to me. So I start my day with him. During the lockdowns, it was a mixed blessing. I railed against them during COVID. But, to me, it brought me closer to the Lord. That was the first time I got onto a Bible study where I didn't quit my own personal one. So, and it's first I was doing it just out of duty and just discipline. And now, I kind of run to it in the morning. I love it. I wouldn't have my day without it. And it's usually first thing in the morning as well. It sounds like it's just a habit, but it just fills my soul,
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. We appreciate it. Well, what caused you then to start writing Christian fiction?
Well, some of my artists, some of my favorite authors just happen to be Christian. When I look at Jared Tolkien, The Lord of the Rings, and C.S. Lewis, who I've only started reading over the last few years, my favorite books were written by them as well. Although Tolkien was Catholic, but I believe he's devout. I believe he's a devout Christian. And they were amazing. I keep going. They're the only books that I reread. Well, there's some other ones as well. Another one in high school, Gillian Bradshaw wrote Hawk of May, and it was a totally different book, and it's set in King Arthur's time in Old England. It's not based on anything historically accurate, but the setting is kind of accurate in a way. It's a coming-of-age story, and there are strong Christian themes as that. So my favorite books are, and I just love the Lord, and I want to honor him in what I do. He's given me the ability to write as well, which I am learning. I'm learning the craft. It's an ongoing process, and I just want to honor him. I call him into my work when I write, before I write, and I just tell him, Lord, I want to go here. This seems like an extravagance to write, so I don't want to go here without you. If it's your will, I'll do it, but not without you. If you want me to do anything else, I'll do it as long as you're there. So that's my prayer. But yeah, sincere.
Yeah, I don't know that I don't remember the chapter and verse, but and I'm not sure that it was intended in this way, but man makes his plans and God sets his feet.
Yeah.
So
it's in Proverbs somewhere. I don't remember the chapter. So.
Yeah. What genre do you write?
I write fantasy, and the one I'm working on is epic fantasy. It's also portal fantasy as well. The first short story I wrote was that I sent out to a contest was a science fantasy, kind of like I describe it as Braveheart meets The Mandalorian kind of thing. That kind of. But the one that I'm on now, and the one I could see I'd be in for the foreseeable future is high fantasy. It's kind of set in. One thing that I really struggled with is how do I incorporate Christian themes?
Yeah.
Because especially if it's fantasy, there's an element of magic in it, but I don't want anything where it's dishonoring God, if it's paganism, if it portrays that, especially if it's the antagonist. I don't care. That's fine. He's the bad guy. But if it's protagonist, it's got to be something close to biblically themed. And how do I do that? So I really struggled with that. I read a book recently by Marian Jacobs, which was helpful, and I'm familiar with some of the processes she talks about, but she talks about divine supernaturalism versus magic. And the magic sometimes you read about in books, it's actually something really dangerous for real in the modern day. The paganism is alive. So I wanted to write that, but that was a big sticking point. It was funny because I never thought it would be. Once it got into the weeds, into the nitty gritty, it became something I really wanted to flesh out. So, long story short, now coming around to this, so the setting in my novel is, it's like a generic high fantasy, but set in old England during Anglo-Saxon times, after they're Christianized. So they spoke of and I want a theology in the book. So I just, it fits better with more supernatural elements. So they speak of the Lord freely, and their faith is really strong. And it's just basically a bunch of people, a noble family in dire circumstances, who are desperate, who rely on the Lord to get them out of jams, as well. So it's long story short, I guess you would categorize it as epic high fantasy, but also portal fantasy, because there's, the modern world is included in the first book, not in the prequel, but in the first book.
Yeah. That sounds interesting. Is there a biblical truth or passage that anchors the book you're working on?
For my short story, there's one in Job, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it's Job 31:4. Who can see the power of his thunder, or words like that? I'm butchering it. But it has to do with God's overwhelming power.
Yeah.
And even in odds that seem overwhelming against someone, if God's involved, however, it gets you through some way. Maybe not the way that you anticipate.
Yeah.
But he will.
Well, many of our listeners are looking for books that reach boys. Wives have asked recommendations for books that their husbands could connect with, and of course, entire families. Do you feel that your work connects with that audience?
It does. I would say it would be the 17-year-old boys or so, 16, 17, 18. What really impacted me growing up, and when I was really, really on fire reading, were these coming of age stories and adventure stories. So that really resonates with young men, I find. And yeah, there's just stories where there's a lot of challenges and hard things that need to be done. Things that are noble but difficult.
Yeah. Do you feel like your books can sharpen the faith of the reader?
Yes, in a way. Now I'm still editing them, so I want to include elements of those things and make sure I have those in my books as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do. When all else fails, prayer is one thing, and that's definitely in the prequel. In the first novel, there's certain themes. I know Paul in the Gospels talks about evil suspicions and doing away with them, and that's something that crops up in the first novel that a character in the novel has to deal with and put away. actually in the prequel as well. And it actually hinders them. It hinders their walk. And it hinders their effectiveness for serving their family, their world around them, and their friends.
Yeah. Do you see your writing as a ministry, a mission, or a message, and how so?
I hope that it can be seen like that. Just that I can write good, if nothing else, that I can write good stories, really good stories. Be conscientious about doing that to the best of my ability, and honoring God in producing, and if I can, an excellent product. Just working at it and owning it, and doing that as well, while at the same time not dishonoring Him in what I write, not writing anything with graphic violence. Although there is violence in fighting, there's a limit. I don't want to do violence to my readers in what they read. It's clean otherwise. And yeah, the content in which I put in it, and with themes where there's good biblical themes of justice. There's action and consequences is a big one.
Yeah.
God wins in the end. And
definitely,
although we're suffering in different ways all the time. Lots of times it's just to bring us close to God, but we serve a God of justice as well. So justice is a big thing in the book.
Well,
yeah, fighting the good fight.
Kent Wyatt, I believe he's the guest that said that Christian authors let you walk through a gritty, exciting world without getting dirty. And I appreciate that. I appreciate authors that include the drama that we hear on the news every day. Some of it's in our neighborhoods. And we have to know how we should react to that. And if we get our education, our examples from the world, then it's not a very acceptable way to react. So we need to see those bad things, whatever they might be, and be able to react in a Christian-like way. And so we need examples of how to do that. And Christian authors, I think, is a main source to get those examples.
Yeah, I couldn't have put it better. You summed it up right there, Mike, and what Mr. Wyatt said. And the themes of perseverance, and there's horrors, but horrors that you can allude to. You don't have to describe in detail.
Right.
And you could kind of infer or give clues.
Yes.
But the reader knows what you're talking about, and they feel horrified. They feel taken aback, and then how the character deals with it. And another theme is just the idea of the narrow road. To stay on the narrow road, there may be many against you or many forces against you, but seeking what's right.
Exactly. There's a couple questions I've got here. One is there times when a character does something that you didn't predict, that all of a sudden you see, it's this guy's going off this way. Okay. And you start writing him the way he goes. So it's kind of like the character is taken over and you have to catch up by putting it on paper.
There is I think the main character, I kind of had it in mind, but I wasn't sure, where, without any spoilers.
Yeah,
he's shirking some of his responsibilities. He's brought into a search situation, but he's shirking kind of for the right reasons, because he's not believing things correctly. And then life slaps him in the face, and he changes. He changes and becomes a hero in the story. Well, hopefully he becomes a hero in the story.
Yeah.
Hopefully it comes across that way.
Yeah. Well, the second part of the question is, do you see yourself in any of your characters?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit in the main character.
I think you have to have yourself in what you're writing, because you can only write what you've learned, what you've experienced, and what you can imagine. And that's you, and what God puts in your in your craft. We've talked about verses. Is there a verse that keeps you grounded when you're struggling with just what to do with the next chapter or paragraph?
Just it's a generic prayer I usually do. So Lord, just please help me.
Yeah.
Help me come into my work and help me write. Guide me, guide my mind, guide my hands, and help me write something that honors you, that you'd be pleased with. Help me use my time wisely. And I have a couple of verses. I mentioned Psalm 51 as well. Create me a clean heart, O Lord. There a new right spirit within me. Cast me not away from your presence. Take not your Holy Spirit with me, and uphold me with a willing spirit. And I pray that a lot in the mornings, a lot, because there's always something I think, ouch.
Yeah.
Why did I say that? Why did I do that? Psalm 139 at the end of the verse. Search me and know my heart, test me and know my thoughts, to see if there be any grievous way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. Those, and there's just a host in the Psalms. I just love just about the Lord is your fortress. Anything with the Lord is your fortress, and David talks about that. He mentions that all the time.
Yeah,
a hiding place. So there's a bunch, and I apologize, but there's another one. Because I came into writing late in life, where I actually took it more seriously and became more intentional. Okay, I have this written down over my desk, but I don't have it committed to memory. But Psalm 92 verses 12 to 15, and it's because I came into writing late in life. I mean intentionally, where I'm taking it seriously. Although I wrote many years ago. It reads, "The righteous flourish like the palm tree and grow like a cedar in Lebanon. They are planted in the house of the Lord. They flourish in the courts of our God. They still bear fruit in old age. They are ever full of sap and green, to declare that the Lord is upright. He is my rock, and there's no unrighteousness in him."
That's really a good verse, especially the part about bearing fruit in your old age.
Darn right. Darn right. I sometimes I think, sorry to cut you off, Mike.
No.
Sometimes I think, gosh, 60 years old, but I feel like I'm in high school again. I'm just excited about writing. So this verse is a huge encouragement.
Do you feel like as you're writing that God reveals something to you? He gives you a lesson in some way?
One thing constantly is stepping out on faith and perseverance. And sometimes I don't know. I might be stumped, and I don't feel it. You've probably heard of imposter syndrome. So not feeling I have what it takes, or just having a bad day writing, or I'm just, there's a block there and nothing's coming out, and just perseverance. And I know God. I don't know which verse it is in the Bible, but I know He blesses the diligent. So, and He wants us to work. We're made to toil and work as well, but we can work under His strength, and to step out on faith and pray about it, and bringing Him in. And it's just like He breaks a little chink in the wall so you get through and start writing, and one idea leads to another. But it's that perseverance and diligence, and along with Him.
That imposter syndrome is a very, very dangerous and real thing.
Yeah.
And I believe you've won some awards, have you not?
Well,
for your writing?
Yes. One of my, and then another one that I was considered for. It was for a short story in 2023, and that was the science fantasy. And it's very short. It's almost flash fiction, so it's only 1,500 words.
Yeah.
I like that. I like it very much. And that was my first big encouragement. But it's so funny, because it was during those times when I had things like I had doubts about whether I should be writing, whether I should be, is this a waste of time? I could be serving my family in so many other ways, or whatever. Then I would be so close to just making a decision just to do something else, and then I'd get an email or a call. and or something really encouraging from someone. And this was a pivotal moment. So hearing from that, and so I got that. So I won for best short story on that. It's you. If I'm not mistaken, a lot of the stories that are entered are more kind of along the romance genre. So this was speculative fiction, so it was kind of out in left field. And then I sometimes enter contests, and I tell all my writer friends they should enter contests to get used to writing under deadline and to get the feedback. The feedback is great. You need a thick skin, but the feedback is just excellent, especially from, I found personally, organizations like ACFW, and they'll send you a rubric, and they're very elaborate, and they'll make comments, and then overall general comments as well.
Yeah.
So on my prequel, it was not polished, but it was finished, and I sent that in because I wanted to get feedback on it. It was a tough year. There were just a lot of things going on at that time, and I came to, it was like another critical moment where I was wondering if I should just continue writing. Then I get a call on a Friday night, but I'd prayed through it, and then I felt just this sense of peace for the last few days. Just a wonderful peace, just unbelievable peace. And I was sitting on the couch with my wife. We were about to watch a movie. It was just a wonderful evening, and my phone rang, and I see it's from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Well, I don't know anybody from Tulsa, Oklahoma, so I didn't answer it. But it went to voicemail, and after we watched the movie, I picked it up, and it was Robert from the ACFW telling me that my story semifinaled for the General Award.
Wow!
And so that was just the right news at the right time, and I just thank God for that. So I think I've received enough encouragement that I want to. I definitely this is my ongoing career, my ongoing profession.
Yeah.
And I love doing it. I'm excited. I'm excited doing it. It's great.
That's great. That imposter syndrome, though, I hope that's behind you now.
It is. And also, the contest, the idea of contests, they could become an idol, and I hope I'm not making too much of them. I think they have their place, but for me, it was really important just to get the feedback. And I guess I'm a bit competitive by nature as well.
Yeah.
So it was just like, even, when you have a golf game and you have that one shot that's good and the rest is terrible, but that one shot gets you to the next game, it'll keep you coming out. So if something occurs. But I have to say one thing. I have to say, more than the contest, more than anything else, is my wife. God's blessed me with the most amazing wife.
Yeah, he gives us good things.
And she's the encouragement she provides is incredible. I wouldn't be doing this in so many ways, and she's encouraged me. She's also my best beta reader as well. So I bounce, and she's not even my target audience. So my son's the target audience.
I see.
As well. Yeah, but she's right with me in the same house, so she's easier to access. But I mean, the encouragement. She was the one who encouraged me. Although I'd been thinking about it, I dared not even mention it. She was the one who encouraged me to start writing full time and take it seriously.
Yeah, great. If you haven't seen the episode, and I can't recall the number, but Dan Walsh, he has it's a very interesting story about the relationship he has, the right relationship he has with his wife, even from when he was a pastor, and he would pass his sermon in front of her. Then later as a writer, and as he started writing books about dogs, you'll have to look at it if you haven't. Where were we at?
You were going to ask me about my dog.
Oh,
I don't know if you still want to, but
of course. Yesterday I met Stormy the cat. So, what dog do you have for me to meet today?
I've got Bowser, and Shepherd, and he's a working class German Shepherd.
Yeah.
So he's got high drive, high energy, and he's a handful, but of them.
Yeah. Yeah, our neighbor has a very, very nice German Shepherd. Likes to come sometimes when I'm not suspecting it and I feel something cold touch me in the back of the neck. If you were talking to a person that liked to read, but didn't really want to read a Christian fiction, because what would that be like? Is there something you have to say to them that convince them that maybe they ought to give your book a read?
I would say give it a try, and it shoots from the.
I do think that many readers have a misconception about the kinds of books that people are mainly, and you alluded to this. It seems that most Christian fiction, it's done by female writers writing about romance, and so it's just kind of mushy, unrealistic love stuff in some people's minds.
And it has value, and it's good literature. It's good fiction. It just may not be appealing to guys and young men. And I think a big difference between the female and the literature more geared towards men is how they portray the stakes in the novel. The stakes.
Yeah.
And there may be less, like, I could be wrong, but there may be less character, more plot. Maybe more different elements of danger in it. I'm not 100% sure. But no, the stakes are. I see the stakes are different. Lots of between those novels, but I don't want to generalize. I don't want to generalize too much, but that's just the impression I get.
Is there a particular author in your background that influenced you? The
first books I read. This novel I read was The Land That Time Forgot by Edgar Rice Burroughs.
There you go.
And I just ate up most of what he wrote. So that sense of adventure, like John Carter of Mars.
Yeah.
And there's a fella, he did the hard things, even when it was dangerous. He kind of a chivalric code. And I just love that. I could reread that.
Yeah, I would read a chapter of to my son as a bedtime story.
Oh.
And I'm not sure whether it was for him or for me, but I enjoy Edgar Rice Burroughs.
And Tolkien, although he's, it's not anything I hope to come close to, but I love reading The Lord of the Rings. It's my most reread novel, set of novels.
Yeah.
Well, and then when you look at his background in the army and the war, and him fighting in the Battle of the Somme, some of what he depicts it just seems so real. You feel like you're there, and it's really you see the horror. It's immersive and it's ugly, but then you see these noble acts being performed by the people in the city as well.
Yeah. So, how can people find your books?
They could go to my website now. I just they're not out yet, but I hope for them to be. It depends. Going to be eventually published. There's a strong possibility that they'll be independently published, and if so, they'll be out sooner than later. www.author Daniel Lewczuk. So author, my first and last name, all one word, no punctuation. And there's a sign up page for a newsletter. I have a monthly newsletter, which I am very late in putting out for my most recent one, but I don't want to until the prequel is polished, and I'm going to put that up on my website as a free gift to my readers. And that'll give them just a bit of a foretaste of what the novel might be like as well, just a sample of the like it, then they might like the novel as well.
I went to Amazon and I came up with, I really don't know what it was, the number 4, PustYnie.
Oh, I know there's a Polish gentleman who does seminars on business, and I believe he's written some nonfiction books on business, and he's quite famous, but same first and last name.
Yeah.
So it could be him, and there's a couple of other people as well. I don't have an author page on Amazon as of yet.
I don't want our audience to be confused. That's good to know that there's 2 Daniel Lewczuks. So The Beckoning?
The Beckoning short story. That was the 15th. That's the old one. So I need new content up there. There's also a little short story on, but it's just kind of random. It was submitted to a Iron Age meeting that requires you to host your stories. So I needed to provide them a link and then put the story on my website. So it looks kind of out there in the middle of nowhere on my website. So I've got to get more content on that, and that will be my prequel, which I hope to have up November, by mid-November for sure, in its final form, where it's all polished, and then this winter. And I'll be posting updates on my blog as well as my newsletter.
Great. Well, I think this has been a great conversation, Daniel. I've enjoyed it immensely. As we close out, is there a message you'd like to leave with our audience?
Just that if you look hard enough, there's a lot of good literature out there. It just doesn't seem so many in the mass market, but there's a lot of good authors. There's a lot of good indie publishers and authors as well, putting out good fiction, really good fiction that you'd stuff along the lines you grew up reading and you'd like to. Don't lose heart. And the Lord's always in charge, remember.
Definitely. That's the thing. Whatever we're doing, God's in charge.
Amen.
But do you mind if we pray?
Not at all, Mike.
Thank you. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for Daniel Lewczuk, and unique experiences that you have had a hand in delivering to him. And we thank you for his gift, ability to put thoughts, ideas on paper and or on the computer screen. We just grace over him and his family. I think of his newly wedded son and daughter-in-law. We just ask that you keep your hand over them, and we Lord, that you continue to be with us. We give you all the praise. In thy name we pray. Amen.
Hey, Mike, thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you. And you have a good.
You too, Mike.
That was Daniel Lewczuk, a storyteller proving that it's too late to start something new when God lights the. From law enforcement to literature, his journey reminds us that diligence, faith, and creativity can intertwine to eternal. If you'd like to learn more about Daniel's work, authordaniellewczuk.com and upcoming prequel and debut fantasy novel. Thanks for spending time with us here at the Wordsmith Forge. If this episode encouraged you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves a good story told faith. Until next time, may God's grace inspire your words and strengthen your walk. Stay inspired, and as always, keep reading clean. This is Mike Baines, out.